Oil and water don't really mix. You can shake them up and they might look like they get integrated, but give them time and eventually they'll separate back out and not really blend together very well. That's typically the experience we have with Performance Max for lead generation campaigns. You might launch something, get it shaken up, get some initial leads come in, but over time you eventually find that those leads are not very good quality, you eventually turn it off. But as we've said many times on this channel, it's in my best interest and probably yours to test all the new features that Google puts out because they're constantly iterating their new tools to try and get better results for advertisers. Now, that could mean Performance Max didn't work for you originally, but it could now. That also means that if you constantly rely on legacy tools, at some point they might go away and you don't have anything new to shift into. So in this video, we want to give an updated look at some strategies you can use to try and improve the lead quality coming from your Performance Max campaigns and see if they might make them work a little bit better for you this time around. I'm going to go through 4 main tactics that you can use to improve the lead quality coming from your Performance Max campaigns. We're going to do a bit of being in slides, but then also going through a campaign setup in our Google Ads account to kind of show you where this would exist. The first is going to be what you see on the screen right now. Use a fuller conversion funnel approach. For lead generation campaigns, you typically have some sort of a lead flow that looks like this as they make their way from lead into marketing qualified lead, then sales qualified lead, then opportunity, then customer. If you use HubSpot, these are going to be the predefined types of lead stages you can have. Other platforms will have something different, but for the most part, kind of follows this flow overall. The biggest problem we see is that PMAX campaigns for lead generation typically only are focused on the lead. And like I said in the intro, Performance Max can get you a lot of leads. The problem is they're not very good quality. So instead, we need to focus on the lead stages that are further down beyond just the initial lead form fill and use those as our conversion action for our campaign. As I said, we're going to be in our Google Ads placeholder account. So I've gone ahead and created just a regular campaign without a goals guidance, selected Performance Max, going all the way down here. This is going to be the conversion section where we're trying to choose which conversion actions we can leverage. Now, obviously, we're not going to want phone calls, engagements, that sort of thing. Again, this is just our placeholder account. This is what is set up. But if anything, this is a good note for you to make sure that you're using the right goals for this campaign compared to all others. Your search campaigns, demand gen, YouTube, they might do great generating just leads that end up being high quality. But if Performance Max doesn't, you might need to use a campaign level goal for Google Ads to optimize toward with your smart bidding to try and improve the lead quality. Now, if you're interested in learning more about account level goals and campaign level setup, you can check out the video at the top of the screen right now. But likely, depending on which platform you're using, you're going to need to set up enhanced conversions for leads to get any of the further stages down beyond the lead as your conversion action. Google has an entire section of their help articles dedicated to helping you set this up. But just for those of you who don't know what this is, here's a quick user flow as to what would happen. Step 1, user clicks on your ad and arrives on your site. 2, they look at your website. 3, they fill out a form and become a lead to your business. Number 4 is that you store the information in your database. And number 5 is when that lead becomes a converted customer, or think something like an MQL or an SQL or an op. That anonymized data is imported back into Google Ads with some of these identifiers like emails or the Google Click ID so that Google can use offline conversions to track how that person is moving through the funnel and attribute that performance to your campaign. Effectively, this is the way that you do conversion tracking for MQLs, SQLs, ops, and customers, since they have to take an additional step in your buyer funnel, not just fill out a form on your website. All of this will help Google's machine learning optimize toward those actions further down the funnel and look to get you the types of leads that you want because it's optimizing for MQLs and SQLs, not just the leads. Once you have your conversion section set up, the next 3 things that we're going to talk about are all just honing in your targeting so that Google knows exactly who you're trying to go for. We need to use audience signals that match the buyer funnel. All of these MQL, SQL, op, and customer stages can be imported into Google as customer lists and then used as audience signals within a Performance Max campaign. In this example Performance Max campaign in our placeholder account, I've already skipped all the way to the audience signal section right here. And by default, they open up the Your Data section so you can apply your first-party data that can help reach the customers. As you can see, this can include customers, website visitors, app users, all that good stuff. So if you open this box, you can see we've got a number of suggestions down here, but depending on how many audiences you have and how hard it is to find, click on Browse, come down to Customer Lists, and then whatever you've imported from HubSpot or Marketo or manually uploaded lists for those MQLs, SQLs, ops, customers, you'll find that list here, and all you have to do is check the box next to it, and that will be used as your audience signal for your Performance Max campaign. In most scenarios where we're seeing low quality leads, we end up seeing that people are using website visitors or YouTube users, even in addition to customer lists further down the funnel. But those more broad audiences are making it harder for Google to narrow in its focus on exactly who you should be reaching. So my suggestion would be use just your most specific lists. Make sure that you're targeting just the right people. The only problem you might run into is making sure that you have enough matched users. That's why we say not just customers, also think about opportunities. Even lost opportunities still got all the way to that contract stage and are still potentially a good buyer for Performance Max to go after. But additionally, SQLs and MQLs are good quality leads for your business. And if you can get those through Performance Max, that's going to be a win. And the next option is to treat your search themes like keywords. Let me hop back into that placeholder campaign. This is going to be the section right below signals. You can see search themes here. And the goal is to add some words or phrases people use when searching for your products or services. You can add up to 25 search themes here. And I think they're increasing this number to 50 in some areas. As you can see here, search themes leverage Google's search data to find new customers that are likely to convert. They're used alongside all of the other influences that you use here, like your audience signal and which conversion actions you want. They don't work exactly like keywords, and in my experience, that's where people fall short. They tend to treat these search themes like a catch-all for all of their keyword themes in a Google Ads account, but that's not really the best way to approach these search themes in my experience. Instead, just like with the audience signal, we need to get more focused on who we're trying to go after. I just got back from a camping trip in Isle Royale National Park. Yes, they do say Royal, even though it has an E on the end. It was news to me. But if you're trying to reach people who are interested in going to national parks, it likely makes more sense, based on how different they are, that instead of targeting all of the national parks as a search theme, you would use indicators for each park as a search theme. Let me get something set up. Using search themes like this, I'm focused on Isle Royale National Park, some of the trails within the park, some different points, and different visitor centers or areas of interest for Isle Royale National Park. This is going to focus in people who are only interested in this park, not all of the parks. In many instances, I would come across a campaign that looks more like this, where all of the keywords that were in an account were located within the same set of search themes in a given asset group rather than being broken out. If I'm trying to target people who are only interested in Isle Royale National Park, and I have search themes like national parks, Zion National Park, Visit a National Park, that might work, but it's probably going to be too broad and you're not going to have good quality leads from this. So just the way you set up your search campaigns, set up your asset groups to have very specific search themes around them so you have a much more narrow focus with those indicators to Google, and they can go try to find you more qualified users through your Performance Max campaigns. Now the last suggestion, again, still narrowing down who we're trying to target, use negative keywords. When Performance Max was launched, there were no negative keywords in place. Then we had the ability to add account level negative keywords. Now we have the ability to add campaign level negative keywords. And Google just recently increased the number of negative keywords you can add from 100 to 1,000 for a given Performance Max campaign. That part cannot be done in the campaign setup, unfortunately. Instead, let's hop into a different account that's already live, and I'll show you where those live. In any given Performance Max campaign, you just need to head into the campaign itself. Then under the Audiences, Keywords, and Content section, go to Keywords. And here, the only types of keywords you can use are negative keywords, because any other keyword-like targeting is going to live in the asset group under Search Themes that we already talked about. But if you want to add additional keywords, just click the blue plus button and add all the way up to 1,000 keywords per Performance Max campaign. Now, if 1,000 negative keywords isn't enough, don't forget you can still utilize account level negative keywords for Performance Max as well. So that can help you out there. But for the most part, treat these keywords similarly to how you would for search. Personally, at this point, I always add brand negative keywords to Performance Max campaigns because I'm trying to get brand to go through the search campaign where I have a little bit more control. But additionally, if there are search terms coming through your Performance Max campaigns that are low quality or not the type of people that you need to convert for your business, make sure that you add those as negatives here. If you don't know where to find the search terms for your Performance Max campaigns, you just need to go to Insights and Reports, go to Insights. Then I'm sorry all this has to be blurred out, but if you scroll down, you'll be able to find a section called Search Terms Insights, and that's where you're going to get all the information that Google's willing to share about the search terms that triggered ads for your Performance Max campaigns. Overall, Performance Max is a great tool to help grow your business, but just like any other machine learning feature within some of the self-serve ad platforms, you as the advertiser need to give it the best signals possible so that it can find exactly who you're looking for. With e-commerce, this is a lot easier because somebody makes a purchase right away, revenue is attributed, Google knows there's a success and how profitable it was. With lead generation, we have to do extra work. You need to make sure that you set up your conversion actions appropriately to focus on the right high quality actions. And then with all of the targeting signals we have, whether it's audiences, search themes, or negative keywords, you need to focus in on exactly the type of people that you want and exclude anybody who's going to be lower quality by default so that Google has a much better picture of who you're trying to reach and it can do a better job of finding higher quality leads for your lead generation business. Hopefully this has given you the confidence to either test or retest Performance Max for lead gen. Like I said earlier, give it a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't, maybe put it on the back burner. Test it again once some new features come out or you have some better signals that you can provide to the Google Ads platform. If you have any additional questions about this or anything else in the Google Ads system, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below. If you really liked it, maybe think about subscribing to the Paid Media Pros YouTube channel and you'll get alerted every time a new video drops.
If you really liked it, you can help support the channel by checking out some of the t-shirts that we're wearing on our merch shelf, as well as looking at the Super Thanks button.